It's always nice to have a guest that can talk.
That can talk. not those babies that you have on all the time.
It's way better than a Kimon piece of shit. He's been busting my balls on Instagram today. I didn't even remember what I said about him.
He's getting you worked up because he knew you were going to record tonight.
Work for Europe. And the music is working again.
Everything's working.
That's perfect.
I came out a few minutes early and got it all set up this time.
Wow. Yeah, and you were on time, and I was on time, and then someone was late.
5 minutes.
It wasn't me.
Give me a break.
And it wasn't me.
Yeah, for once.
What a good feeling.
You probably just rushed home from the workshop. You guys have been super busy. Did you get everything all set up the way you wanted it?
You mean us? No.
No.
No, we made the walls for the foundations, but now we're waiting for the foam.
Oh, okay. I thought that was going in today already. I thought that was going in today.
It should have, yeah, but we were late with ordering, so we have to wait for another week.
Ah, shit.
Yeah, and then
Thursday
next week is the last day we can get concrete for the foundations. When we're lucky, we will get the foam on Wednesday. Then we have to put the foam inside and everything, seal everything up, and then Thursday morning, the concrete should be here. If everything works out. If not, then the concrete company closes down for 2 weeks or something. Then
no.
Yeah.
Better get it done then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or else you'd be mixing it by hand.
Yep.
For
I have one of those old mills.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. 44 tons. No, thank you.
Why? Fucking get a shovel and get on it.
Yeah, I mixed 4 tons last week.
That's horrible.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So, no.
Fair play to you.
I'm not going to do that.
Fair play to you.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, guest 22.
Yes, that's me.
Who's going to do the proper introduction?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we got Mr. Erik Gullikson on again for version episode 2.
Rock and roll.
Yeah.
My return. My triumphant return. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, thanks for making time for us. I saw you. I want to jump right in with this knife you did for the what was it? The DCI Invitational.
I don't know what knife you're referring to, so perhaps
this little SC wavy handle that went into one side of the handle and back out to the other.
Snaky tang. Yeah.
Yeah. So how did that happen?
How did it happen?
Yeah.
Where do I start this answer? I like to use DCI as it's only the second time I've done it, but I see it as a cool opportunity to try to push myself. I feel like for me, it's, I don't necessarily work with a ton of diamond steel all year. I'm mostly forging high carbon stuff. And I see it as an opportunity to just push myself and also, forge diamond steel and try to forge it into some interesting shapes that aren't necessarily easy or common. So I just thought I'll do a big curved integral tang, and off I went. So that's kind of how it happened, I guess. It was like one of the first ideas I had this year. I don't know, I didn't even really know where it came from. Originally, I will say I meant it to have 4 curves instead of kind of 2, basically.
Yeah.
And I was kind of working out, would I make dies to do it and on the press and all this kind of stuff, and I just went. I got the material in the forge, and I was gonna actually do it by hand over kind of manual, just hammer and anvil with a few different diameter bars, basically. And before I even attempted to start shaping the tang, I kind of forged into a rough, the rough kind of volume of the tang. Before I even attempted to start curving it, I was looking at my design on the workbench and just going, no, it's not happening. Like, so it was good. I kind of trusted my instinct that way. I'm like, I just cut it to kind of one main S instead of 2. And yeah, I think it made a lot more sense. It would have been cool for sure to do 4 instead of 2, but
way more work getting all those handle curves to line up with the tang.
I think it's Yeah, it would be for sure. And with anything, it's like kind of a topic I've been quite interested in for a while now. But just trying to remind myself of, I think efficiency is the wrong word, but it's certainly a word. I suppose it is efficiency, but it's like artistic efficiency, if you want to call it that. I think artistic efficiency is a good phrase. That something has to be worth it, you know? Like when you're doing this for a living and you're not just kind of messing around and seeing what you can see, which is fun sometimes, but when you are trying to do it for a living and have a schedule and kind of deliver on a... be consistent, yeah, I think artistic efficiency is important. So, you know, for the extra time it takes me to do 4 instead of 2, what actual effect is that having on the knife, like to the user or whoever's looking at it, etc.? Is it twice as much effect? Probably not. It's probably 2% more effect, you know, maybe. So, yeah, just that's an interesting topic, I think, actually.
I would have loved to see a build video of this one.
I mean, I don't know if it would be that interesting, really. Honestly.
Well, I mean, it's just something I've never saw before, and
yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's the only part that really felt like a sort of chess move in terms of forging was the joint between, you know, the transition from having enough thickness for the actual bolster, where, you know, you have the concave surfaces tapering into the handle, and then it quickly becomes
thin.
An asymmetrical push to one side to start the first curve of the tang. That junction there was really the only sort of like quote unquote hard part in my book. I did like kind of plan the forging move for quite a while, just with like kind of I ended up using like a flat die and a bar. I think it was a 30 mil bar. I can't remember actually which. Was it 25 or 30? One of the two. Just a radius, you know, just a scrap mild steel bar on the press, and yeah, I just kind of held the knife at an angle. So the angle, it's kind of hard to explain.
Yeah, I think
with voice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had to plan it basically.
Hence, I would love to see a video.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah. But I really think that would be like most of the video would be like, and then he made the move. It's like, yeah, and it actually, to my delight, like I pretty much, you know, you commit to actually putting the 25 tons of force down onto it, and it better be right, because if you go too far or too thin, it's you can't really come back from it, you know. So, yeah, it worked well, I think. So beautiful knife. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, thanks. I don't know if I'd be running to make another one necessarily, but I'm glad I did it for sure.
So from the pictures you got, you can only see like the pins on one side. Is that did you like, how'd you get the hidden pin in there? Is it tapped and drilled and they're screwed in there, or?
So I drilled them all the way through actually, and I wanted to have more asymmetry basically in the design. So originally I had planned on having just the carbon pins. So the African Blackwood actually has carbon pins in it. I don't know if I can see it in any of the pictures. Can you see the little black dots?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, it's hard to see, but if you look close enough. I was looking on my phone before, but on the computer I can see it.
Okay. The old PC, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's drilled all the way through, and I just wanted to get some asymmetry in there, and I just peened. So drilled in the carbon, kind of cut them in half basically, and yeah, just a bit of G-flex in there. Yeah. So it's kind of meeting in the middle. The pin's basically meeting in the middle, all held in with G-flex. It's rock solid though. Actually, is being held onto the knife, you know, with the peened copper and everything else kind of G-flexed in from the other side.
Did that one sell at the DCI show?
It did. Actually, sold straight away in the first of the newsletter. But I think they're always a risk, though. That kind of knife, you know. I mean, it's not for everyone, obviously, and it's not cheap, obviously. So, but I'm okay with that. You know, that's kind of a space that
So do you think the newsletter is what helped you sell everything so quickly? Because people are already anticipating the knife and waiting for the chance to get a hold of it, or do you think if you put it out, it would have sold as quickly on your website?
I mean, my newsletters kind of is my website, I guess, in a sense. I mean, I don't really, I've never actually dropped anything on the site separately, so
Mhm.
I've always been just trying to build that community, I guess. Keep people posted and just put out things when I think I have things that are worth putting out. I certainly don't spam, or I don't actually hold myself to a rigid schedule with it, so I just put content out when I see fit and when I think it's good, and direct them straight there. So yeah,
all these makers that are selling out so quickly these days, they all seem to be talking about that newsletter. It sounds like the way to go.
Yeah,
it's good. Yeah, it's definitely been good to me, I have to say. And it's been it's a slow build though. I mean, I started it. Can't actually tell you when I started it. It did start growing relatively rapidly though.
do you have a number? How many people do you have on the list?
I do. I have a number. Do you want to know it?
Yeah. Oh Lord.
Should we guess?
Yeah. I mean, that's what is it? What am I at? I think it's 700 something. 780, I think, which seems to be working. So we'll just keep organically growing, I suppose. Although I don't know if organic growth is possible anymore on Instagram, anyway. But
it's just followers. I mean, do you always sell out?
I mean, I actually haven't had that many drops, even in total on my newsletter. I think I've only had like 5 drops, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Between, I think that my first drop was last. What year are we in now? 2024, kind of holiday time. Yeah, I think my first drop was 2022 December,
Mm-hmm.
and I had 3 knives, and I think I only sold 1. And then I think the rest of them sold then throughout the year last year, 2023. But yeah, the first one was 1 for 3, and then I think I had 2 or 3 drops last year, and I think I sold out all but maybe 1 or 2 knives. And this year has been crazy though. So yeah.
Well, that's growth, I think.
Yeah, no, it's been for sure. It's been really good. And I did a drop with Toby, as some of you call him, Tobias Hangler. Early December, kind of a collaboration we've been working on since February. It took us way too long to finish, but such is the way of things. But we did that as a kind of joint newsletter drop. I think it was November 2nd or something. Those sold out. Then I did a drop for DCI 2 weeks later, and I ended up selling out all but 1, which is still available actually. And did another drop 2 weeks later of my own stuff, just Apex Ultra basically stuff, and I had 6 knives, and that sold out. So yeah, it's been crazy, absolutely crazy.
So that drop you did with Tobias, you were at a shop, I believe, right? You guys did some forging together.
We did.
What was it?
We did. Yeah. I was out there in February this year for a wee visit. We had a bit of a powwow, so I went out because I had the Modern Cooking lads, or the Birch and Bevel lads, I should say. Jonas and Frederick and Peter, of course, and I'm looking at all your names in the podcast list here, and my brain is just completely wiggling. Who am I forgetting? I'm not forgetting anyone. That's all the Birch and Bevel guys, right? Martin Huber was there briefly, but he wasn't there the whole time. And Simon Critchbaum was there as well, but he's not. He and I were kind of hanging out because we were not working on Birch and Bevel stuff, so they were kind of doing that for a couple days. Simon and I got a chance to kind of forage together in Tobias' shop, which was fun. And then, actually, before those lads arrived, I came like a day and a half early or something. That's what it was. Sorry. And yeah, Toby and I worked on a design together, forged some steel, got the blanks kind of made. It ended up being, they're essentially stock removal knives, but it's a big forged billet of Apex Ultra QMI. I don't know if you check those out at all, but
Yeah.
it was fun. Yeah, they turned out pretty cool. And the demand was good. We were really happy with it. And it was an interesting process with the two of us. It was, we're so different. And it's cool to do things with people who work so differently to you.
Well, you can definitely see you in there in those designs. Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it's very good.
And I don't think I could make that much steel that looks like that myself without some serious hassle. So
He's got the right equipment for it.
Yeah, and the know-how. So yeah, maybe we banged out that billet pretty quick with that big old rolling mill he's got rolling.
Yeah, that thing's a beast. You guys were rolling out bars of steel like 1.5 meters long. They were huge.
Yeah, I saw that. I was hoping you guys were gonna make like a big ass sword or something. But...
I think you saw the reel with him pulling it out. Yeah,
It was huge.
Yeah, that's actually a bit misleading, actually, now that I think of it. Because that first billet was super long. That's true. That would have been cool. Someday. I haven't made a sword yet. Still haven't made one yet.
Is that something you would want to do?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, why not? I'm pretty open-minded. I don't see why not. I'm not, necessarily, waiting to do it, though, either, by the same token.
I think a sword would be fun and cool to make, but I think you really limit your customer base, how you're gonna sell a sword. It's not as easy as get rid of a kitchen knife
for selling, I think.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, well, someone just wants you to make one.
What length would you classify as a sword? I wonder. What's the what's the minimum length to call it a sword?
Is there rules for that? I actually have no clue.
I'm sure there's a lot of different theories.
Short
definitely
swords. There's what? What's the definition of a sword? Albert, we need you.
I'm Googling it as we speak.
That's why you're on mute.
I knew that. What
Mr.
defines
Einstein.
a sword?
No, I'm just good with Google. It doesn't say anything about the length. It's more like a function thing.
Huh.
So if it's for fighting, then it's a sword.
It's an edged bladed weapon intended for manual cutting or thrusting. Its blade longer than a knife or dagger. So longer than a knife or dagger. That's not very
How do
precise,
I say
is
something
it?
without saying something at all?
We all know what you were
Yeah,
thinking.
it's not very precise.
Yeah. I'm making some nice slicers next year, though. Got some cool customs in the books that I'm pretty excited about. That I would say are nearly sword-esque, but certainly culinary, though.
Not meant for thrusting and stabbing.
No, not necessarily.
So you also finished a knife recently for one of our guests. Yeah, one of our hosts.
Call
I
me a
did?
fucking guest.
Recently? Actually, sorry. Yeah, I did very recently. It's actually still here. I need to box it up still. Sorry, but that's happening tomorrow. I promise.
Maybe the host thing confused you. So
He called me a fucking guest on my own podcast.
Well, for the amount of time you're actually here, you kind of are a guest.
Lord, I was on time today.
I did. Yeah. Have you seen it? Has anyone seen
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
we've all seen it.
it? Oh, you looked. I put a little. Well, it's probably more than a teaser, really, wasn't it?
You put order and chaos, and we all knew who it was because Matt won't stop talking about it.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about it. I have to say, I think it turned out really cool. It's definitely up there, in my top 5. I think favorites.
Give us some specs on it because it's hard to tell how big it really actually is from the picture.
Can you still? It's not up anywhere unless you saved it. Did you save it?
No, it's not up there. It's on a story, right? It was on a story.
It was on a story, yeah.
It was.
But I sent the story to Matt and to Albert so that I can still see it.
Oh, good.
You can rewatch that?
Specs. Yeah, good question. I think I have them written down somewhere.
Just a rough estimate.
Did I write them down somewhere? Let's see.
No, it's gone.
Yeah. No, I have. I actually do have the specs here. It's the specs. 200 millimeter cutting edge, 80 millimeter heel. Okay, so 200 cutting edge, 80 heel. Quite light. It's 223 grams. 4 millimeter spine at the handle junction. 1.7 millimeters halfway down the blade. 0.9 at the tip of the spine, and the balance is 35 millimeters forward of the choil. That's the specs that I
That's very specific.
take note of. Yes.
Do you always do that?
Yeah, I do that for every knife.
Nice.
That's kind of the important stuff, in my view, in terms of performance.
Yeah.
You know, taper, balance, weight, cutting edge, heel. Like, you're hitting all the major marks there. There's nothing. And then I also include grind type, obviously, in the, like, if I'm posting it somewhere on the site or whatever. I would call it a fine convex edge. It's nail flexing.
Yeah, I saw that.
And still convex, and then you obviously have those big kind of I wouldn't call them S's. They're just gouges, gouge grind all the way up.
All gouges.
Lightening valleys, which also will aid in food release, anti-stickiness, and yeah, I think it's cool because it is quite light, but it just feels smaller than it is because it's light, but it still feels blade forward, which is what I like. I mean, that sort of cutting assist feel. I think you'll enjoy it. I really do. I
think so too.
So you said 1.7 millimeters halfway up the blade. Is that some like standard thickness that you're shooting for? Because we had a guest on recently. I can't remember who it was, but they said 1.5 centimeters up the blade. They shoot for 1.5 millimeter thickness. Is that like some kind of ballpark thickness that you're shooting for in all your blades, or performance-wise?
So I think we're talking about slightly different measurements. So you said he was talking about above the edge, was he?
Yeah, from the edge up 1.5 centimeters up on the grind. He likes to have 1.5 millimeters at least, or thinner.
Yeah.
I think you said you said halfway up the blade 1.7.
No, I meant halfway down, as in the length of the blade. So
okay.
at the spine, it's 1.7.
So you're talking about taper and everything. Okay.
Yeah. That's just taper I'm talking about. But it's kind of hard to measure on that knife because the grind is so weird. Because you have random.
Like, where do you measure it?
Yeah, I think I tried to kind of grab it with the calipers, like in the widest point. You know what I mean? Like kind of diagonally near the spine.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty close to like the sort of average or the high points, I guess, of that area. I think it kind of pretty accurately reflects the geometry, But your other point is interesting as well. I mean, 15 millimeters above the edge, yeah, is what he said.
Yeah.
1.5 mil or less. Yeah, I tend to aim a bit thinner than that actually. I do all my grinding with calipers at every stage, so it's all pretty locked in. Yeah, I usually measure 12 millimeters above the edge.
Yeah.
Just because of the way most calipers are, they have that notch in them, and it's almost always 12 millimeters. I think maybe 13. Yeah. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like the sharpening notch or something. So yeah, I measure there. It's just easy to measure, and yeah, I usually aim for 1 or less from there. Like kind of 1.1. Maybe at the heel it's a bit thicker usually. 1.1, 1.2 kind of max, but like down the blade, I mean, certainly 1 or less, kind of near the tip, usually 0.7, 0.6. But I mean, you are at the risk of... There's just no better way to say it. I mean, the knife edge pun thing. I mean, it like when you're trying to get that really fine but still convex grind, like it's just such a small margin. So it's like it's constant calipers. So, but I feel like I'm really starting to dial it in. Like I'm really happy with where my fine what I'd call fine convex grinds are at the moment. Like they're nail flexing, but they still have convexity. Like it still feels good just separating a carrot or something, Like it's taken me a while though. I mean, I feel like I've only really started to get like super dialed in on it in the last really like half a year, maybe, So yeah, just constant kind of attention to detail, I guess.
You only get better at stuff if you do it a lot.
This is true. But it's easy to just get in a habit of doing something a certain way as well.
It does, but not. I don't think that's an issue for you. If no, because like you make such weird stuff, you know. It's not like you're.
Do you think it's that weird?
No, it's not like weird. I don't think weird is a correct. It's just so I don't know the good word for it. Artsy. I don't think that you're looking to, you know, go for maximum efficiency and, you know, really get something so dialed in that you're, you know, so you get faster or more efficient at it.
True. I mean, look, there's a balance, you know, with everything, and I think different things suit different people. I mean, that project that Ben is working on with his batch of 60 at the moment, I mean, that's so impressive to me. Like,
yeah, exactly. That's what when you do want to do that, you know, that's we've been talking about that for the last couple of episodes. That's like, because if you save like 5 minutes on a knife and you're doing 60, that's a lot of time. Yeah,
but that's a valid point. I mean, I guess when I went back to what we started with, that artistic efficiency idea.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like, is it worth not saving it? You know, whether it's artistically speaking, like just adding something to a design.
No, it's always worth saving it. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So
as long
it's
as
a good thing to be.
It doesn't interfere with the quality, then. It's
well, for
worth
sure.
it.
Yeah, and like back to the just balance thing, you know, for different people. I mean, it's, you were saying that you don't think that I necessarily like would be super obsessed about dialing things in. I mean, it does. I don't want to say it. Well, I don't want to say it kills it for me, but I mean, it, like, obsessing about those. It's hard to
tiny little details or something. No, I don't know.
Not even that, because I do obsess about tiny details. Certain details. I mean, like with anything. I mean, we're talking kitchen knives here, right? So, like, there's a performance element to these that matters. You know, like, it should feel nice to use. It should be exciting to use. But as you say, like, I do like the artistic side of it. Obviously,
I struggle to find the words for the style or something. I don't know. It's sometimes it's like obnoxious in a way, in a good way, and then to hear you, like, if you look at the some of the designs and then hear you talk about you measuring every millimeter and keeping track of literally everything, it's like, wow.
Yeah, that's why I was curious if you had like some set parameters that you were trying to hit, because then
but he has every
like
parameter. And if you look at the eye, like where are you even measuring? They're so.
You're trying to hit a performance, some kind of performance standard, but also get your own style
absolutely
into the knife, so everybody knows it's yours when they see it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think that's where the fun is, really. You know, I mean, like there's no point in making something that doesn't work. I mean, that for sure. You know, I'm like 100% on board with, like, I want the performance to be awesome. Like, I want the edges to be thin and convex and fun to use. You know,
can we just call it, like, is that the right in between chaos and order?
I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It's half and half. You know, I mean, you have the performance from the order, and I love being open-minded, and I love exploring steels and blade profiles and all that stuff. You know, but like any good art, whether it's functional or not, well,
I think that is the in a way that is the big difference. If you have arts that's not functional, then you can go all out. You know, you can get like really crazy. But you do have to make a good performing knife.
Yeah, for sure. And I think there's a value piece of it as well. Like, I'm just not the kind of person that, like, I'm not super excited by, like, charging $20,000 for some diamond encrusted knife. Like, I know, like, some people want to buy that and make crazy shit, and that's awesome. Like, but I don't know. It just doesn't. It just feels like it feels sort of wrong to me, like, going that crazy.
Do you ever feel like when you're designing or thinking about a knife, do you ever get like feel like it constrains you or something? You know, that like, is there a limit to like, I would do this, but then I can't, it's not it takes away of the function?
Not really, because I don't really start from that. But like, that's not even an option, you know?
No, it's okay. So it's functionality first, and then you go
Yeah,
as wild
no,
as you
absolutely.
can. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
But I think that's the beauty of it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you're like, this has to be, like, I'm not going to make a handle, for example, that's uncomfortable. Like, I'm just not.
Nope.
Like even that S-Tang, that handle is really comfortable. Like, I was actually, when I was messing with it, I'm like, I was worried about it, you know, and I'm like, this is going to be really weird, but it's a slicer, so it's not as big of a deal, you know, and most of my customers would be pinch grippers anyway, so as long as, like, the front half of the handle is kind of comfortable, that's sort of what matters most. Mm-hmm. But even that said, I probably still wouldn't put, like, spikes coming out of the back half of the handle, you know? So, but that handle is actually super comfortable in, like, 3 different places, so yeah, I was actually shocked how comfortable it was. It's actually kind of a cool, this sort of, you know, hourglass shape thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe I'll do that on, like, a regular knife as well, without the curved tang, just sort of shape a handle that way, you know, just for fun. I probably will, actually, now that I say it.
Yeah, it does look like a... How do you call that handle?
I said hourglass.
Hourglass, yeah.
Yeah. Or infinity sign or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sort of, if you were, you know, to outline it.
Matt's already having a magnetic knife board designed, so we can fit it on there.
Oh, yeah.
To his collection.
There you go.
Add it to the collection.
Well, he needs to get me an anvil with a intact horn if he wants one of those.
Yeah. Oh, don't. I'll be on the lookout.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
Albert's got one for you.
No more anvils.
No more anvils.
Oh, shipping anvils is terrible.
Really?
Yeah.
For your back?
No, it's just it's like
expensive.
Yeah, and it's you can never find the perfect one. It's just everyone says they want an anvil, you know, and then this is what I have, and then
yeah.
But yeah, it worked out. You have it's a great anvil. Did you do something with the horn?
I love it. No, I haven't done anything with it. I just left it.
I think
crazy.
It's fine.
But I forage on the, you know, the wide part of the horn all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's serving me super well.
By far the best anvil I had.
and I love the texture on the other horn as well.
Yeah.
Like there's a really kind of flat section that's really like really nicely dappled, you know, like if you want to texture like copper or something. Yeah. Like I have a couple bolsters I've done recently where I just, you know, hammer it a bit on that part of the anvil and it like creates this really nice, just subtle organic texture, you know. So yeah, it's awesome. And I beat the crap out of it on bigger stuff as well, so
it can take it.
Oh yeah, for sure. It has not moved since we got it up there somehow. Yeah. So yeah, fun stuff. Form and function. That's the beauty of it. I mean, limitations are good. Oftentimes.
How's the forge holding out?
Oh yeah, I was going to say the Baker Forge. It's not a Baker though.
It's not a Baker Forge. No.
But they just have Forge in their name, so.
Yeah.
The Housemaid. Yeah, I love it. Absolutely love it. It's so consistent. Yeah, I'm like really, really, really love it. I do need to talk to you, Keith, about that setup you have though, because I think my blower is crap.
The blower setup, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know you offered to show me the. You've been using it, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, I don't forge. I've been tuning mine up because I got it temperature controlled. So I've just been firing it off and getting everything dialed in and getting the wire and all that shit figured out.
But is working. It like it's accurate? You reckon?
Well, I got it right now into it holds it within like 5 degrees.
Damn.
I mean, even with the door, I haven't tried with both doors, but with the one door open, it still holds within 5 degrees.
Yeah, I'd call that accurate. Yeah,
that's fucking accurate. Yeah, that's.
But
Yeah.
I'm sure messing around with it some more, I could get it better. But I mean, how accurate? How much more accurate do you need when you're forging?
No, you don't.
That's fine.
You don't.
That
And
is fine.
You're not forging much though.
No.
Too busy.
I
with the business.
Yeah, I'm too busy with the business. I think this year. Yeah, I mean the year's already over. I think I made 3 knives this year, maybe, because I haven't had any
really?
time. Yeah.
Wow. Damn.
I would say that's
upgrade-
impressive.
Upgrading the store and moving into a new shop and trying to get all the house-made products all set. And
Nice. Take all Matt's business.
Yeah.
Yep.
Stealing my fucking business.
Good.
you don't have to worry about the air fryer, so I won't be taking that over on you, Matt. That's for
Wow.
you.
Yeah, you have another one, right? As well.
Air fryer. Yeah. DI Fry Europe.
So yeah, there was something you asked me about that I wanted to dive into a little bit, and I forgot.
Don't know. The
Keep
forge?
me on. Keep me off track. Come on, keep me off track.
Off track or on track.
Hit me with something else.
Albert.
So what kind of steel did you use for Matt's knife?
I actually used steel forged in the fires of Graz, Austria.
So was it copper Damascus, or what was it?
I suppose it's enough layers that you could consider it copper Damascus. Yeah, I think it's I think with including the copper, I think it's like 10 layers per side or something. So 5 layers of copper, 5 layers of I'm not exactly sure what, because even though I etched it the way I normally etch to bring out proper contrast between everything, there seems to be like random patches of light steel, just like very subtly, but mostly dark. So I don't know if there's like a rogue layer of 5920 that got in there somewhere. I think it's meant to be all dark steel though, but it's not. So it's cool though. It looks cool. So that's all that matters.
And an Apex Ultra core.
Yes, of
I
course.
suppose.
Of course.
Of course.
I mean, I'm pretty much exclusively using Apex for my high carbon, and then Damasteel, either the Damascus or RWL 34, and I did one in MagnaCut last year, and I'm a little bit intrigued by it, but also it wasn't very enjoyable, to be honest. So
The chef knife.
an outdoor chef knife, designed for a guy who in Norway actually who camps a lot and like brings like a whole outdoor kitchen and like does like proper cooking.
Oh wow, I love that stuff.
It's beautiful actually. I followed him on Instagram and I was checking out one of his things like as we were designing it, and I was like, damn man, it's like by this lake with this big tent and like a whole like marquee kind of set up for the kitchen, and he's like, yeah, it's just getting like wild berries and fishing and stuff, and it's like it's awesome, like but yeah, he wanted the knife to be like super rugged and also able to be used in very cold temperatures. He wants to do it even when it's cold, which is to each their own, I suppose. So it was kind of designed with sort of chunky, I would call chunkier convex geometry. Definitely not as thin behind the edge as my normal knife would be, just because I was a little bit worried about it being dodgy if he's out there in sub-zero temperatures. So we made it a bit more rugged, and he's very happy with it. So I actually got that gray G10 block that I bought from you, Keith, was for that knife. If you remember that, I asked you to send me videos of it or something.
Yeah. I remember, but I don't think I've seen that knife.
Yeah,
Or at least I don't remember it.
It's on my Instagram. You might be able to find it. It's gray G10. It's not that
Not
far
the
down,
easiest. Not the easiest stuff to work with when you have to grind it down. I don't know how much material you took off, but
actually. The G10.
yeah, the blocks they're pretty heavy.
Yeah, it is actually. It is very heavy, but I usually just throw a fresh 36 grit on there and slow speed and just let the belt just eat it.
I get them in sheets like the size of a pallet. So if you can imagine, with 30 millimeters thick, how much that thing
damn.
weighs trying to cut it on the table saw.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But I got some special like diamond tip blade saws to cut through them.
You could make some cool stuff out of like a big sheet of it like that. I don't know what, but
Actually, get quite a few people that make their own bows, like for bow and arrow shooting, and they buy that thick stock and make their own handles out of it.
Oh wow,
that's cool.
I've always found that very interesting, bow making and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, obviously the whole bow's not G10, but the handle section,
Obviously.
like, I don't know, 30, 40 centimeters or something, and then the rest wood.
It's pretty tough stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pretty bomb-proof. Yeah, like that,
Yeah,
that whole
actually-
knife was Magna Cut and just G10. It was G10 bolster, G10 handle, and G-Flex. That's it.
Speaking of Magna Cut, did you guys hear the new news about Crucible steel?
Is this,
I saw something.
Is this Laren's new steel?
No, but
There's like a
CPM
factory going down or whatever.
Yeah, they're closing down, I think, right?
yeah, somebody already bought it, so
Yeah.
they'll continue to make it, but it's under a different name. All the CPM steels.
What are they called now?
So what CPM is? What Crucible powdered metal or something? Is that what it stands for?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I think so,
metallurgy, yeah.
Where is it located?
That I don't know. Albert, Google it.
Is it in the U.S. or what? Where?
In the US, of course.
Yeah. But where exactly in the U.S. I'm not sure.
Well, I don't care. I just wanted to know if it was in the U.S. But is it some other steel company that bought it, or
Yeah.
were they going bankrupt?
Yes. I don't know if
Shit.
that's to do with Magna Cut or just in general because of the steel prices and all that shit. but-
Should be like Magna Cut. Should be like a fairly small. I don't know how big the plant is, so might be talking out of my ass. But mostly those steels are a very small piece of what a company like that does.
Yeah.
Mostly, I can't imagine like having all that gear for just
Just knife
quote unquote
materials. Yeah,
some knife steel, right? Or am I
No,
talking out of my ass?
That's probably true. I didn't think of that while I was talking about it, but it's probably a really, really small margin of the steel that they make for knife
Yeah.
makers.
I would be unqualified to offer an opinion. I would be talking out of my ass. So I won't.
Well, I just asked, like, am I talking out of my ass or not? It just
There's a
It's
there's a
okay.
YouTube video called CPM Steel. One day ago, CPM Steel's gone forever. Crucible bankruptcy. Don't panic buy. The first comment is, haven't bought a knife in years. Won't buy this year either. Crazy prices.
the comments can I can enjoy a good comment section.
I know.
very much.
Haven't bought a knife in years. Won't buy this year either.
Yeah.
Crazy prices. Like what? What knife?
It's just crazy.
You get a knife for like $2. Maybe not a Crucible steel knife, but dollars, euro, bucks, whatever you want to call them.
Speaking of materials, I just got an awesome, I got a 1 meter by 1 meter sheet of vintage linen micarta on the way.
Nice.
26 millimeter
nice.
thick. It's like this butterscotch and color in the middle.
You gonna
and
send me some?
a nice thick skin on the outside. So you should be making cool blockers.
I'll go for a couple of those if you
Yeah.
wanna put me down for one or two.
Definitely not looking forward to cutting it. That shit stinks so bad. It smells like death. My shop's gonna stink for months.
Oh, terrible! Can't you fucking water jet that stuff or something?
I think the problem with water jet is where the cut starts and where it finishes. You get like blowout on it. It just like peels the layer back. And I don't know how good it would work on micarta, but it does that on G10.
Okay.
Do you have water jet cutting though?
No,
I
like
don't.
locally.
Facilities.
Locally, I there's some facilities here. Yeah, that should be able to do that.
Keith, you don't do that though for any of your stuff? For any of it?
No, I don't. We also have a company here that locally that would do it for me too, but I've never tried it.
I mean, you guys have so much. You have all the industry, don't you? In
Just
Austria.
gotta know
What part of Austria are you in? Actually, I don't even know where you are.
I'm about 20 minutes away from Passau, Germany. I don't know if there's anything near me that they would know. About an hour
It's like-
from Linz, from Albert, kind of.
It's west anyway, yeah.
Yes, yep, upper
Far-
northwestern part of Austria.
So what about this knife show? Is it going to be cool? Should I come?
Yes.
Yeah, you have to come
Of course.
for sure.
Martin says I should come. I think I probably will. Actually, I think I must tell him that I'm going to come. I think I'm going to have a table as well, just for the laugh.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be great.
I'm looking more forward to the dinner the night before or after.
Yeah,
To get together with all the makers and have a couple drinks and talk about shit.
it's the only way forward. Really, is dinner and
Make
drinks.
fun of Albert eating a salad.
What's
Yeah,
wrong with salad?
Albert's gonna do a little hammer and meet and greet or something at the shop afterwards, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
After the show.
we are. Yeah.
nice.
You're welcome to come, Eric.
Well, thank you, man. Thank you. I'm gonna have to figure it out. I'm trying to like get better at managing my time for next year. It's something I'm not great at in general, and as I get busier, it gets harder, obviously. So, yeah, like I said at the beginning, tend to overcommit a little bit, say yes to too many things, and then I think that's a challenge we all face, though, as like small companies, business owners.
Yeah.
Like, you can work super hard and you can make a bit more money, or you can have a break and not burn out. Like but it's hard to stop sometimes, isn't it?
It is.
A little bit of order, a little bit of chaos, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's a running theme.
I've had mostly chaos lately. I have
Mostly
to say.
chaos.
Which, to be fair, is actually what your knife is as well.
Yeah.
Which I like.
Well, it's more fun.
Chaos is more fun.
It is.
Until the reality of the hangover hits you, and then yeah, and whatever metaphor you're currently working on.
You can apply that to everything, basically.
Yeah, I'd like to fit it in for sure. I haven't 100% confirmed, but I'd like to come. Seems like a good like. All of a sudden, like there's a new show, and like everyone's going. Pretty much, it seems like loads of people are going.
Yeah, got a lot of good knife makers on the list. I'm curious to see how many visitors are going to show up.
How many customers? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, is it just going to be all makers, or are we going to get some buyers there too?
Yeah.
I'm curious to see.
I'd imagine you'd get a couple, but I have a feeling it's going to be heavily like there's a lot of awesome knives and like not that many buyers. That's my gut feeling on it.
I've been sending out flyers like with every one of my orders. So
oh, really?
I mean, but again, those are all knife makers that are buying handle material. So
yeah. You must get the odd, I'd say normal person, non-maker who buys though. I know a few guys who kind of collect material and then they can send it to makers.
Yeah, I got quite a few customers, repeat customers with like that has their company names. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but like craft people or jewelry makers or things like that. A lot of people that like do worry stones and that kind of stuff, or make necklaces out of it, or who knows what they're doing.
Nice.
What do they buy, Keith?
Usually they're buying like G10, the blocks or the liner material, and I got some glow in the dark shit coming too, so I'm sure they'll be after that stuff.
Oh Lord, that's going to be good on the shows,
especially when he says it.
Yeah, it's just it's on that show. I don't know, that was the most asked question, I think. Is that glow in the dark? Is that glow in the dark? Is that glow in the dark?
It was just a regular piece of jade G10. It's like that's the normal the first actual color of G10 was jade.
That I love that color of G10. It's so cool.
Yeah, it is. Especially when you use a thinner one and have some liner behind it.
Slightly transparent, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like the glow in the dark one. It's not glowing. Hence everyone asking.
Are you always like looking for more like weird material, or are you pretty set with what you
always.
have?
No, I'm always looking for new stuff. Yeah.
Is it hard? Is it like it must be a bit of a minefield. Is it like?
Oh yeah, you go fucking like off in 100 different directions, and same thing you say, like somebody's like, do you want to try some of this? And then you're like, okay, well now you got the opportunity, you got to say yes to it, right? Sometimes you get crap and it's not really that good, but most of the stuff that I get, I mean, before I used to use it on my knives all the time, but I don't make a whole lot of knives, but I get it and cut it up and grind it and see how it grinds and make sure it's not melting when you grind it and how it is to work with it and drill it and all that shit.
So,
that's
but
cool.
Do they send you like samples?
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say.
So, what do you have anything that you can tell us about that's like new and interesting?
I want to get into that. It's not G-Flex. Not G-Flex. That's the glue. What the hell's the name of that one? It's G10 with rubber in between it, like a Sure Grip. You ever heard of that?
I have a small slab of it actually. I have a bit of black that I used on a hunting knife like a couple years ago.
Yeah, it's actually pretty interesting. I've been playing with it.
It's really grippy, actually. It genuinely is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think it's a bit overkill probably for kitchen knives, generally speaking. But
yeah. Outdoor stuff.
Certainly for outdoor knives or folders even, it could be quite cool. I would like to make a folder actually before I make a sword. Back to the sword issue for half a second. That probably appeals to me more than making a sword. But
a folder.
But a simple
would be so
folder.
Interesting.
Like I'd like to figure out a way to make like a forged folder that's like clean, like how do I say this?
That's difficult to get because you got to have all of the lock in the pivot area. Everything's got to be flat. So That's tough. You
Yeah,
have to transition in from like a machine into the forged area.
I don't know. I don't know. There must be a way to do it. It's something I haven't really thought about. I'm literally like thinking about it for the first time.
That would
Friction
be
folder.
some like folding it first and then having it machined or machine it or whatever, something like that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking probably more like the place that I would look would be like just like the locking mechanism.
Mhm.
Try to make like an interesting locking mechanism. Probably focus my energy on that versus like trying to force it into be kind of a tolerance based fit up. Like have it on some sort of pivot, the blade on a pivot thing, but then like whatever, like almost like a friction folder, but then some way of locking it that was kind of cool. Maybe like a hole through the whole thing and through the blade where a pin sort of could slide through it, or almost like a built-in saya or something, kind of thing.
Have you made a folder before?
I haven't. No. I mean, I'm like kind of allergic to like super clinical stuff, and I always find like milling and like the really tolerancy things, like I just can't. I don't think I have the patience for it. I say that as someone who's like polished tonyakis and stuff. So I don't know. I don't have that kind of patience.
It's a different kind of patience, I think. I don't know.
It's like an anal patience, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. In my book, I just don't think I have that. Like I'm more like just try this or try that, Polishing honyakis, I think, is more, I would say, just like a kind of trancey patience, trance state. I don't think you can make folders in a trance state necessarily.
Is that with the stones? Polishing with the stones?
What's up?
Is that polishing with stones or?
I don't know. I wouldn't polish the whole blade with stones. though. I'd use sandpaper, and then I would use.
What's that
powder.
technique called? Is it also people that do that with stones? Right? This is some traditional way or something.
Just
You have to
like
explain to Matt what a honyaki is because he's mixing this up, I think.
A hamon, which you've probably heard of.
Yes.
Yeah, differentially hard.
Gotta use
blade.
like a baby language with me because I'm not a knife maker.
A baby language. A hamon. Yes. It's where you coat the blade in clay on the spine, so it doesn't hurt. You've seen them, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
just didn't know what a hanyaki was.
yeah, honyaki is just another word for it.
Okay.
It's that technique. I think it's the word for the actual technique of quenching it, if I recall. Could be wrong. Someone listening probably is upset right now, but apologies. I think that's right. Let me know if it's not. I think it's for the technique. But yeah, just polishing, like, to bring out the character in the differential hardening line polishing just brings it out more. The more you polish, basically, like anything else, any grain in wood, it just goes from scratchy and hazy to super clear. And then there's a bit of a rabbit hole twilight zone of, how do you etch and polish?
Yeah.
Because they sort of are the opposite things in one regard.
Yeah, you just do it like 15 times until you get it the way you like it.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
You sort of like etch and then polish it off, and etch and polish it off, and you sort of like monitor the progress, and so there's certainly a patience involved in that, I guess, is back to our original conversation. And I've done it.
I think you're right. It's a different kind of patience because with a folding knife, it's so much going back and forth when you're building it because of the whole locking mechanism. But polishing like a blade is like you only go one direction, right? So it requires a different kind of patience, I think. Yeah, I agree.
Have you made folders, Albert?
Yeah, I've made 3 friction folders.
Yeah.
So the easiest construction for a folding knife, and it was so much going back and forth. So it was fine.
I think I'm not built for something like that. If I could imagine fiddling around with a folder, I like that'll be 3 tries and then I'll throw that thing through the workshop. I
could see
can't
that.
deal with that.
Yeah, I mean, it gets annoying pretty
I
quickly.
can.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were taking apart and putting together only a friction fold, and now add a lock and then add a ball bearing in there, and then
I have so much respect. I said this before. So much respect for people that do those amazing folders. It's just insane.
I mean,
But that's what Martin Huber said in the YouTube video, right? That when they were visiting Christoph Feichtel and did the folding knife class, Martin said how many times he had to disassemble and assemble the folding knife.
Yeah,
And I forgot the number, but it was some crazy number.
a couple hundred times at least.
Oh
Yeah,
Lord,
I think so. Yeah.
have
Yeah.
mercy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's in the beginning. That's in
Yeah.
the beginning. You're starting out and trying to get a concept of how everything works in your brain until you figure out the lock geometry and stuff, and then you can use that same geometry, repeat it, changing the blade shape, changing the handle shape.
True.
Yeah, but still,
Yeah.
you'll have to assemble and disassemble it like
course, yeah.
100 times, right? So
Yeah.
it's still a lot, right? So
That's a 50% increase in efficiency right there, though.
yeah, but still,
I like to buy them. I've kind of started getting into trying to buy them a little bit, which probably is bad, but I buy silly ones. I only have a few.
What do you got? What's your favorite one that you got?
A couple little fun ones recently. Like, the knife laws in Ireland are quite strict, so I guess it's kind of automatically forced me into, like, just looking for small ones that are still, like, nice small ones, which is a fun niche, actually, to look for. So I try to look for blades that are kind of sub, like, 70 millimeters, maybe, something like that.
Mhm.
Around there, 70. So pretty damn small, you know. But still usable, certainly useful for opening stuff. So I was using a giant mouse. It was a model, the Nibbler. Do you know folders fairly well?
I don't know the Nibbler, but I know the Giant Mouse brand, yes.
Yeah, and yeah, I liked it. I used it for about a year and treated myself to another one last year. I got the Spyderco Dragonfly, which is super nice. I think it's like nearly the perfect knife for like a small, like usable knife.
Mhm.
Like super light, like really comfortable. You can use it with 4 fingers. Yeah, just like a super clever design, I think, in terms of like the blade choil and how it folds into the handle to make the handle sort of bigger, quote unquote. Definitely recommend that knife to anyone who wants to just a useful, folder that's not expensive, that's decent. Not cheap, but
What's not expensive? What's the price range on
oh, I think it's was it 100-ish? I think.
it? Okay, yeah.
So not cheap, but yeah. And then I got 2 recently, actually, from a Concept, which you may have heard of. Kan. Yeah, have you heard of that?
Nope.
Like Concept, but Kansept. They have some fun models, and I got this hilarious little like donut knife.
Yeah,
Have you seen that one?
of course, yeah.
You have.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Donut G10. What is it? It's the I'm actually looking up the mini Corvid donut knife. My daughters love it. I have a 4-year-old daughter, and it arrived, and I pulled it out, and she went, "Oh, I love that knife. I love that knife." She's like, literally went, "Oh," when she saw it. It was like, it was just amazing. Just worth it just for that. So I think that's going to be the Christmas present opener this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, little donut. It's a tiny blade, though. I mean, it's like, what is the actual blade length? I'm looking up specs here. Oh, this is an American size.
It's like
1.4 inch. It's sub 50 millimeter.
It's like a Swiss Army knife size blade, right?
It's like 35 millimeters or something. I think the blade.
Yeah.
The actual cutting edge. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like one of those old school like little ones with the nail nick. Yeah. So I got that one. That's fun. It has no clip on it though, which I like having a clip because I feel like I'm just gonna lose it. And then I got the Concept Little Main Street, which is super nice actually. Like I'm really impressed with the quality of this knife. I have to say, I'm actually holding it in my hand right now. Yeah, I'd certainly recommend that as well. It's a little harder to open versus like a Spyderco or something, but that's the only gripe that I would have about it. Just the ergonomics of opening it, but everything else is like really solid. And I got like the cool titanium scales and like S35 VN blade steel. So it's like a nice little package.
Yeah, you can get for some of the Chinese brands for about $100-$150. You can get a pretty decent flipping knife, nice smooth with bearings and decent steel.
Yep. That's basically what this is. Yeah, I think it was like 170-ish. But yeah, like titanium scales, like anodized, or is it anodized? What do you actually call it when you color titanium? That's not anodized, is it? I don't even know.
I think it is.
Yeah,
I don't know the term.
anodized.
I know that's with aluminium. Yeah, it is titanium anodizing. Huh. There you go. So that's my current little folding collection. It's only like 4 knives or something. That's fun though. I think I like looking more than I like buying.
I think that's everyone.
Yeah, but the steels themselves, some of these steels they're not like, I haven't used too many of these like super high alloy stainless steels in kitchen knives. Like really the only one is MagnaCut, I think, that I've used recently. And like it was hard to sharpen, but not impossible. But like some of these other ones, like the Crucible, like the S35VN on this concept, it's such a small blade. I find it really hard to sharpen on a small blade.
How do you sharpen?
How do I sharpen?
Mm-hmm.
Stones, diamond stones.
Yeah.
Combination. But yeah, for this, I mean, diamond. Usually just up to like 1,000 grit is usually the max I go on a small knife. So I just find it is more useful. Have a bit of bite.
A bit of bite. Folders are just cool to like when you're not doing something, you just
fidget
fuck around
item
with the folder in your hand. Yeah.
Absolutely. Do you guys have folders at all?
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple.
Sure.
Well, Albert's made folders. Have you kept the folders that you've made?
Of course, all 3 of them. Yeah.
You carry them all at all times?
No, I carry a folding knife all the time.
Good man.
Because knife laws in Austria are very liberal. So
Lucky you.
yeah. But what about the knife laws in Ireland?
I mean, nothing in Ireland is strict in a way. It's like
I don't even check the rules.
Yeah, because you're an anarchist, but there's law-abiding citizens met.
Anarchist. That's not what I am at all. I just don't like those rules. Those
no one does.
Those ones in particular. So I don't feel obliged to.
I agree, but still, it's interesting how different knife laws are in Europe, right? Because you can travel from one country to another, and suddenly you're violating some law, which is weird.
On the mainland, yeah, for sure.
This is where I agree, and then your next point is going to be like, we should make like one great Europe, and then I'll like, nope.
one great Europe.
Yeah.
As long as you have hats, then you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Ireland is basically don't be an idiot, and you're fine. That's basically
Yeah,
law.
I think it's the same here. Like,
You know,
well, I've never.
technically it's illegal for me to carry a knife. I think bigger than, well, I think technically it's illegal basically to carry a knife anywhere of any size. But if it's for your profession,
Yeah.
for your job, for professional use, you're allowed to have a knife within reason. That it's kind of written sort of like that. So it's like if you have any kind of reasonable reason and you're not like being an ass and threatening someone, you're fine basically.
The law is I think it's like open to interpretation, and so they can let you go away with it, but they can also do something with it if they have good grounds to do to do so.
How are the fuzz in your country?
Which fuzz?
The popo.
How they are in my country?
Yeah, are they like good generally?
It's been getting worse.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah. You'll go into a lot of politics that you don't want to drag me into right now.
Well, just
I think.
let's just say generally speaking, are they like? Are they power tripping or are they like?
Yeah, well,
good?
It depends on like when. I think politics is getting in there. How do I say that? It's just too obvious sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
When you're a farmer and you'll have a pocket knife, they'll definitely do something.
Huh.
And then when you're a vegan protesting for stop oil, then it's fine. And I mean, but in general, I think our police is fine.
Yeah, I think that's probably really what you want from police, isn't it?
Yeah,
they're fine.
I mean, but I never look at. Sometimes there's like the biggest controversy or something, and I'm just seeing like the majority is just people that want to do good.
Yeah,
and then you have some fuckers, but in what profession? You know, it's always funny to me when I see someone. It's that feeling, you know, when you see someone going through a red light and then you're like, oh, asshole. But if you see a cop doing that and he does not have his lights on and shit, they're like, you'll get extra mad. You know, it's just but it doesn't make sense. Basically, it's like
it's all relative.
What's causing it?
It's the law of jazz, right?
Yeah, I
You're
think
like,
so.
what?
I just want less of everything. Just leave me alone.
Yeah,
that's what I want.
Well, that's why I like Ireland. I can be a hermit philosopher here.
Yeah, right. They leave you alone there.
Pretty much, yeah. And honestly, the cops here are super reasonable. Like 99% of them. You know, like if you're not being an idiot.
I would like to see like more old cops here. There's too much of those young
bucks.
Yeah, I've in my wilder times, and I've had an argument or two with some young policemen, and
while you were inebriated, or
yes,
okay,
yeah, I would say, but it's the same. It's just that stupid. When I see something that I think is unreasonable or unfair, I just can't shut up. And or I can, but then if I had a few drinks, then I could not. Now I hardly ever drink anymore, so I don't have that anymore. But when I see injustice, I just can't shut up. Even to a point where they told me to shut up for like 5 times, I still didn't shut up. So they threw my ass in the car, and I had to spend the night in jail, which was insane.
I got a speeding ticket in Austria, actually. Speaking of jail.
What,
I got one last night.
Like a live one, or did they photograph you?
No, a photograph.
And don't pay it. Just don't pay it. You'll never hear of it again.
Check this out, right? This is in February this year when I made that steal with Tobias. I was driving from Graz back to Vienna, and yeah, I got a speeding, in a rental car, hire car, and I got the speeding ticket in the post like, I don't know, 2 months at least, 3 months later, in Ireland. And actually, yeah, it was in June. I remember exactly because Tobias was here. He came to the West Cork Cameron, and he stayed at our house. And I had the letter from the Austrian transit authorities, whatever. And I was like, this looks kind of like a little unofficial. Like, is this real? Is this like someone trying to scam me? And I like showed him the letter. He's like, it looks a little funny, but I think it's real. I was like, all right. But on the letter, it was like, you're speeding here and here. I was like, yeah, that kind of adds up. I think that was actually me in the rental car. And my options were, you can pay the fine of €50 or something, or you can spend 23 hours in jail.
Yeah. And so,
it was on the letter. I was like, what? I was like, maybe I should go back and spend 23 hours in jail. That sounds really interesting.
Yeah, just write them back like, okay, you can come pick me up. Thank you. They're never going to do that. I had speeding tickets in France, in Germany, in everywhere, and they'll just send it to you. And then when you just don't do anything with it, you'll never hear of it again.
Yeah, I mean, them trying to chase everyone would be impossible, wouldn't it?
Like at some point, they're just going to look at it like, okay, this is a €25 fine or €50 fine or whatever. And then they're going to like, are we going to try and, it's just not beneficial.
It's not artistically efficient.
No, so
that doesn't happen in the U.S. In the U.S., you get the letter. If you don't pay it, I don't know how many days it is, 30 days, whatever. Then you have a court order.
Yeah, but that's all just one country. I think that's the difference.
They won't come and get you, but it could be 5 years down the road. You get stopped, or you get into a car accident, or you get into something, and all of a sudden, Mr. Colwood is an award for your arrest, and they take you in.
In the U.S., yes, but I don't think that Europe has the same overlapping government type system. Like, I don't think that I'm in the French system now.
No, you are.
No, just your name, your driver's license.
Okay, they can try.
Well, actually, I got a speeding ticket last night on the way home from work.
Oh no.
So I see a police officer maybe once a month where I am because I'm like countryside.
Yeah, same.
And so there's a small little section where it's called what's gonna be like the town center, and this town center has like 2 houses on this little short section of road.
Oh, yeah.
And speed limit was 50, and then they got me they got me going 87.
Oh, Lord.
Usually 30 over.
Yeah.
I don't know if that they take your license, but I know that you get a much bigger fine. So the way that they do it here. It was a new cop, and the new cop didn't know what. Like he was turning back and talking to the other cop and kept asking him questions like, "Ooh, 30 over is too much." And he's like, "What are we gonna do?" And they're like, "Just tell him 70 euros." So he's like, 70 euros. If you pay 70 euros cash, it's done right there. If you don't have the cash on you, it goes like through the town hall, and then you pay like double that. And I always question. I actually did question when I first moved here and got a ticket. I'm like, after I got it and paid, I'm like, thank you. And I was really polite to the guy, but I'm like, I just need to ask because this would never happen in the U.S. What happens with that money that I just gave you? Because I want to know how many of those police officers just put it in their pocket and throw that ticket out the window. Like it seems insane to me that you can just pay cash on the side of the road to a police officer. He scribbles it down on this piece of paper, and then that piece of paper disappears, and it's a way to make some side cash.
How much is it? Like the fines?
I had to pay 70 euros, which is the most I've ever gotten. Usually it's like 35.
That's just insane. That's like I just looked it up because I had some speeding tickets here, and it's if you go 30 kilometers too hard, like too fast here, it's 365 euros outside of we call it a like city thingy. And then if you're inside that zone, it's 479 euros.
Wow.
Yeah, that's like U.S. prices. That's how America is.
It's just insane.
That'll stop you speeding, though.
If you hold your
make you
phone,
think about it, but...
and I had that one. If you hold your phone while driving, and I know you shouldn't do that, whatever. It's 430 euros.
It's 50 here.
No, it's 100 here.
How do they go up?
It's
430.
Yeah, that'll make you think about it, though. What 35 euros is nothing. If you speed in 35, shit, I had to pay the money, but it's not that bad.
And then we have these roads here that people literally call, it's like the road of death. Some of these, that they're like infamous for all those fucking horrible accidents over there. They never go there. Then we have a piece where you can go 80. And then it's just what you said. They have like this tiny bit where you can go 50 because you cross like through a small town. And it's like 200 meters long.
That's what
So what everyone does, they see the sign and they take the foot off the gas and then they'll cruise to that town on like maybe 60 or 70. And that's where they are all the time.
Yeah.
It's just, that's just like you're running your police, your traffic police, like a company, not to better the situation or to keep your people safe.
Human nature. I don't know. There you have it. They need more swords.
Yeah, bring back the swords.
What's the story with Instagram? I'm going to ask you guys what you think about the Instagram thing.
What thing?
Because just like censoring.
Oh yeah.
All culinary knife makers, and do you think there's a way forward, or where should we go?
I think it's the algorithm. I think it'll sort itself out eventually.
Do you think?
Yeah. I think so.
I think it's been a while.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know.
Are you shadowbanned, Eric?
Yeah.
On Instagram?
I mean, it can't be shown to non-followers, and I can't be can't be searched for unless you type my exact name in all the way.
Yeah. I think that's called shadow banning.
Sure. I mean,
it's just insane, right? My friend, I call him my friend, is Patrick Block. He's an amazing dude, and he's always posting about this, and every day he's posting something that's just ridiculous and that's not getting banned, and then he adds the comment, like, oh, so this can be shown on Instagram. It's just the wildest shit, man.
Yeah.
And then your fucking kitchen knife is like, ooh, don't do that.
Well, it says, like, the frustrating thing is with all these things is, like, it specifically says it in the terms of use that culinary knives are exempt.
Yeah.
It explicitly says culinary knives are exempt.
But it's an algorithm thing. It's not someone that is just decided it.
But, there's no one you can talk to about it,
No,
they're really
everyone should go to X.
No, X is retarded.
No, X is brilliant.
X
But
is
it's just
a bunch
not
of
suitable
OnlyFans women
for-
trying to get you to follow them.
That's Instagram.
No, that's X.
No,
Even worse than Instagram.
no. That's just because it's showing what you're googling all the time.
Yeah. I don't even go on it. I got a name for X just in case like something happened, or I thought I was gonna. I checked it out a couple of times. I've never
I
used
would
it since,
go-
and I get probably 10 messages a day from X. It's just girls wanting to show you the
Really?
titties.
I never
Yeah.
see titties on there. I see titties on Instagram all the fucking time.
Well,
And
that's
now
because
it's
it's
even
what you're
worse. It's
searching
like
for.
no, it's not. It's just vaginas. It's everything. It's just ridiculous. You know those fucking trends where those you opened up a whole kind of worms where those fucking
The breastfeeding ones, right?
Yeah, that's just insane. You
That's
know, those
retarded.
fake
They can-
babies. They'll
Yeah,
just
and they
yank
get
their
away with
tits
it.
out everywhere. It's just insane. Just
Yeah,
the-
so
they,
I had-
they do that to fuck with the algorithm.
Yeah, of course. See how much
It's
you
just-
can get away with.
and then those vaginas in the mirrors and shit, and it's just like, come on, man.
Right. So to answer my question, where the world is in trouble, basically.
It is troubled.
Yeah, we just
Very
keep
much
doing
is.
what we're doing, and I mean, something's working enough for
But
us all to be
kind
here.
of,
So
if you look at the big picture, it's kind of evil though, just because you know that people are always going to be drawn to those fucking titties and all that shit. Like, it's it's. I think it's evil. Evil.
I had the ban for a while because knife was in my name, and I just kept appealing it. And finally, they let it through. So mine's been good for a while.
And that's also, I think, what a good strategy is. Just that don't adapt to it or don't try to work around it.
no, just do what you do,
Yeah.
and just keep appealing. I think you have to. I actually deleted when it first happened to me. It actually happened to me a bit later than most people. Like I kind of got like an extra few months, 4 or 5 months, I think.
Yeah.
Versus like the first big wave, and I was like, oh, I'm still good. And then it happened to me all of a sudden. I was like, oh, I'll delete the post that they said I should delete. And then I deleted like, 4 or 5 like nice like recent posts, and like
Did you
then
feel dirty after deleting it?
I felt pissed off.
Yeah,
I felt pissed off because I'm like, that's my work, and I'm just deleting it. For
Exactly.
Why? Like,
and you know you're not doing anything wrong.
No, of
and
course
so
not.
this dumbass system,
Yeah.
just has you deleting your posts, like self-censoring, basically.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But they keep. I mean, as I think we all know now, if you delete 5 posts, there's just 5 new posts there that are like, then these are bad too. So like, I'm pretty sure it would just have you delete everything.
Yeah, what are we gonna do
Eventually.
next? Like shame sessions and shit? Like
Yeah, like Game of Thrones style
Yeah.
through the streets.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
shame.
So there's an awesome guy, and I think I've sent the post to you, Albert, and to Matt a few times. His name's Joe Fu. He makes leather sheaths, knife sheaths.
yes.
He has like the best work around. He's got like it'll
Yeah?
be like Matt says, where they try to show the vagina in the mirror or something. It'll be like some girl, and the camera's like going up, coming closer to her dress, and then all of a sudden it'll be him with like
Yeah,
a
it's-
bed sheet over
I
his
think-
head, and he's like, "Joe Fu, motherfucker," and he's showing his leather sheath, and it's fucking. So he gets the people like that are watching to thinking something else is coming,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden this
Yeah.
guy's selling you
I-
leather sheets.
I honestly think that's a good way to like, if you want an answer on how do you deal with it, that's a good way.
Yeah.
Right before, he's just, yeah,
Yeah, right before you're gonna see something good, then
Yeah.
it's like Joe Fu, joefu.com.
yeah. I see those type of reels more often. It's become sort of a thing. It's pretty fun. I like how people get creative with it.
I like Milan Gravier's last couple days. You seen his little post?
No.
The French maker. He just
No,
did
didn't see it.
I think he said he had a post deleted, like they just deleted it without even like they didn't ask him to delete it. They deleted it automatically, which is next level. And he's,
What
I
they
think it was-
they deleted his post?
I think so. That's what he said. Yeah, it
Oh,
just was deleted automatically,
So
and it's just like a regular old like Japanese. Like his knives are quite like
It's
traditional as
crazy.
well. Like they're very like they look like a Japanese style chef knife. Like there's nothing weird about them at all.
Mhm.
And I think it was like a bit of like the last straw for him. He's like, we got to figure this out. We got to go somewhere. I don't know where to go, and that's kind of where I'm at as well. Because it is.
I just know. I think that X is the only place, but it's. I don't think it's going to work because it's too. It's not. It's not. I think he's gonna. Musk is gonna. He's gonna make it more of a visual platform as well, but the idea behind it now is that's the way to go, in my opinion, with social media. If you do something wrong, the comment section and community notes and stuff like that will take care of you.
Yeah.
There's no need for some fucking blob of an algorithm to take you out, like pre-crime type. I always think of, did you guys see the movie Minority Report?
Ages ago. I can't remember it.
Yeah, it's an old movie,
one.
but it's I mean, there's comparisons to this day and age in that movie.
Yeah, it is crazy. But yeah, Milan he just posted himself like talking through like, oh, I think we should, cut bread with our hands because it's so much safer and like piss take posts, and he was there standing in his kitchen with a loaf of bread. Yeah. It was actually great. It was quite funny, and then he starts just punching the bread at the end. He's like, "Ow!" It was good. It was good, but we'll see. I don't know. It is crazy. Like you put a lot of time and effort, and I mean, I haven't boosted a post in quite a long time now.
It's always I call it like shadow ban. That's an actual thing. But I also have an Instagram page now that's food related, and for the air fryer stuff. And if you just post a reel there and it's looking half decent, it gets to 7,000-8,000 views without any issue. And that's just random shit. And we've had that page for a month now, a little over a month, and we've already reached over 1 million people just by posting reels. That's it. So there's a big difference in the reach that you're already getting as it was before all this.
Well, that's even more frustrating to hear.
Yeah, but it's insane to see as well. It's just
like how much time and expertise do I put into everything that I post? I mean, it's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
ridiculous. I'm not just taking random videos of something. I mean, I'm not saying that's what you're doing either, but you know what I mean. It's different. Yeah. But if you want to change something, you got to change it as well, right? I mean, there must be something to do. But at the moment, look, my books are full basically for 2025. I'm closed, so.
Well, maybe America, like the recent thing, the changes in America that's going to come is going to fix some of that.
What's going to come?
The new government.
And with that,
yeah. Erik mentioned earlier that you had a little bit of a time limit here tonight, and we've gone over that. Just a little reminder to you. So
that's all right. Yeah, thank you. I think I'm probably good. If you guys are good, I'm good. I've enjoyed it.
Call it a show and
call it a show.
Give out a little shout out to your website or your newsletter. How can people join your newsletter?
Yeah, sure. GulliksonKnives.com. And the newsletter's right on the top there on the main page. And I try to, like I said at the beginning, just try to only put them out when I feel like I have something that's worth offering. I don't send out
spamming everybody.
No, I don't send out like random and this month I'm got a new coffee machine and isn't that great? I mean, I'm not really trying to be like trendy guy necessarily. I'm trying to make creative, cool stuff that cuts really well. That's what I want to do. So yeah, GulliksonKnives.com. Check it out.
Gullikson Knives. Yeah,
get on it.
Check it out. Get on the list. Buy a knife in 2026.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on again. And there's always next time. We can chat again next time.
Sure, anytime.
Sure.
And we will catch up. Thanks, lads.
Yeah. All right, guys. We will talk to you next week.
Outro music.
Bye.
Bye.
Breastfeeding titties.
Boom.
Chakalaka.
Thanks, boys. I appreciate it.
All right.
Hopefully,
Anytime, man.
hopefully I didn't run on sentence too much.
No.
No worries.
Perfect.